Hi everyone, welcome to Conversations with Miss T, and that is me. Today we're having a conversation with Guy. Guy is a copywriter, a photographer. Oh, should have asked him about that. Okay, Guy, I'm calling you a photographer just for today until I confirm. So, a photographer and a podcaster. I've been asking him 21 questions about how to do my podcast because, Miguel needs information. So, shout out to you, Guy, and thank you so much for all your help. Guys, we're slowly warming up to our new theme song. I know I am. Okay, let's just give it time. We'll get used to it. Thank you so much for all your support, and thanks again for tuning in. Enjoy.
Oh, yeah. I
Ah.
like this because you don't see my eyes.
It's very dark in here, huh?
Damn, I'm actually smiling because I still have a job, It's been a very hectic week, trust me. The weekend was worse. It was
Yeah.
worse. Oh,
You want to talk
yeah, but
about
things
it?
are, yeah, I mean, do I want to talk about it? I don't know. Like sometimes I really feel like I've been thrown into the deep end, where I suddenly have to manage a very large group of interns, and I don't have, background in the managerial space. And I think I was given like very short space of time to really produce results. I'm not
Yeah.
complaining. It's a great space to be at, and it means I have to learn really fast, which I guess I've been enjoying, but I just hate feeling like I'm not in control. Like that feeling just throws me off when I feel like everything is just not in control, or I'm not in control of everything that's happening around me. Yeah, I guess I hate failing. As much as I love it, I hate not producing or living up to the expected standards, especially in the professional space.
Yeah. No, I get it. There's a saying that goes, you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable because that is life. I know this is not very comforting, but do you understand what I mean? Like you have to grow thick skin and roll with the punches. So many phrases, man. I'm happy you have a job though.
Yeah. I'm happy I still have a job.
Yeah. And so do you need to send an apology to somebody?
No, I don't need that. I just need to catch up with some stuff and just make sure that my team is in sync with, everything that's happening in the space. But other than that, it's nothing really hectic. Even when my boss contacted me today, like when we had this session, he did say it's like, this was not just directed to you personally, but it was from a professional stance where I wanted everybody in the team to kind of like realize that our efficiency is kind of like slowing down now. And I don't understand how and why, because we were doing just fine. But yeah, something is wrong. Let's just figure out what it is and fix it.
Yeah. Okay. So it says my internet is unstable, which is really strange. So just bear with me.
Okay, no problem.
I'm still here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so just let me know if anything happens. You see now, I'm on the other end. I manage a class, right? And it's like, I totally understand now what you're going through, because I feel like my students probably go through the same thing when I'm like, you know what, there's a problem in this classroom that we need to address. We don't do this and this and this and that. And in my head, I don't want them to take it personal, but some of them might, So
yeah,
I'm trying to comfort you. I don't know if it's working, but I'm just saying that, like, from the other end, really, if he says don't take it personal, then don't take it personal, But I guess that's not easy. How long have you been at this new job?
Well, I don't know, 3 months now. Yeah, 3 months.
Of course you're gonna fail.
And everything has been going pretty well. It was just last week where there was a reshuffling. So it was just last week when we made like very amateur mistakes, and and they reflect very bad on the business. And considering the fact that there's so many companies, waiting for an opportunity to just take over, we can't afford to slack in the industry. We really can't. So
you snooze, you lose.
Will be good.
Yeah. Okay.
How was your weekend?
My weekend was so.
What did you do over the weekend?
Was so chilled. So I just came from a very long week, right? We had to work like Monday to Saturday last week. And so now this weekend was my chilled day. So today is a holiday. Tomorrow, Tuesday, is also like a public holiday. They're celebrating what they call the Moon Festival. Don't ask me the story behind that. But there's a movie called Over the Moon. It's an Asian movie. I think it's based on that whole thing. You can watch that movie. It's great. I loved it. So this weekend, what did I do?
What's the movie?
Over the Moon. Let me check.
Okay.
It's animation. It's an Asian movie. It's pretty cool though.
Over the Moon. It's in English, right?
Over the Moon. Hang on.
Yeah.
Did you find it? I just want to make sure.
Yep. I will find it.
No, I just want to make sure.
Is it on Netflix?
It is on Netflix. I hope it's still on Netflix. Yes, Over the Moon. I got that right. So so that's what they're celebrating this weekend. So last weekend I had to work all the way up to Saturday, so I was very tired because this is me doing all the other million things that I do on the side, including conversations with Ms. T, stressing about the copyright issue, trying to fix that, and all of that stuff. So yesterday, was it yesterday? Yes, it was yesterday. I woke up, I worked out, and I was just like in my house, just wandering around, doing a few things. And then I went out for lunch, and I just wanted to be by myself, right? And when I was done with lunch, I was like, let me just take a walk. So I took a walk. I arrived at a park, and I just laid on the benches. And I think I took like a quick nap. It wasn't intentional. I was just there admiring everything, just taking it in, detoxing, unwinding. And it was such a beautiful moment for me because I don't think I've done that in such a long time. Actually, I don't think I've done that ever. What I used to do when I was still in South Africa is I would drive to the park, stay in my car and read in my car, and I would just enjoy those moments. So this time I didn't have anything. I wish I had brought a book because there's a book I need to finish, but I didn't. And the day went by so fast, but I loved it. I needed it. That was my weekend. I'm still on weekend vibes. Yeah, yeah.
This weekend was so great. This weekend was so amazing for me, because obviously I was in a very bad space. I needed to do new things. I ended up getting a tattoo this weekend because I was feeling like I'm in this dark. Yeah. I ended up getting a tattoo. I know my dad is gonna hate me for it, but he's gonna get over it. He's definitely gonna, like I told you, I think I've mentioned this to you before, that my parents are pastors, right? They're very deep into church. And I know the first thing that he's gonna say when he sees this will be, you are part of the Satanism cult now, officially. That's why, I am ready for that, but also I think I'm grown up. I can have that conversation with my dad, really talk to him about how I feel and, just wanting to live my life for me, because there's just a whole lot of things that have been guiding me, especially as lessons from my parents. And it made sense when I was, still under their guidance. When I was staying under their roof, obviously, so he would usually say, oh, this is my roof, and under my roof, you do whatever I say. So it was okay then. But then now I'm growing up, man. And when am I really, really going to get time to enjoy things that make sense to me personally? The same as going to church every Sunday and all that stuff. I was never really, really sure why I had to do it. But then now I'm at my own space and I understand that, okay, cool, I've been presented with an opportunity to be me. And if it does not make sense to me right now to go to church or to even do things the way the church advises, specifically our church, but then I don't have to do it. And I think this is like the greatest space that I've ever found myself at, where I can just be me, where I can just do me, but obviously I can't put it onto their face that this is me and you have to accept me. I still confront them with that level of respect, like for instance, can I say that I smoke? What if they watch this and now they find out that I do?
You're putting me in a tight spot now. Wasn't I supposed to say yes, no? I don't know what to say.
Yeah, but what I wanted to mention actually on that point is that like they don't know that I do it, and I don't want them to know because of how they feel about it. I'm growing up, of course, but then in their eyes I'll always be a kid, and that's legit how I looked at it. But then with a tattoo, I was like, Bafetu, it is what it is. Whatever goes, it's cool.
Yeah. But yeah. Also now I'm over here thinking, on your neck, why? Because you have it at the back of your neck, right? Why? Why there specifically?
Yeah.
Did you get my question?
So we have like the nerves here at the back of your ears, right? Mm. Yeah. You have your nerves here at the back of your ears, right? Like even if you put your fingers there, you'll hear there's kind of like a pulse. Is very subtle, right? So I feel like this is an area where there's the deepest connection to self, just about, or maybe not even mentioning the brain and the heart, but this is a very connecting place, so I thought, like, for me, it would make a lot of sense, especially because of how I relate to this text, and how it makes a part of me, and if it's just here, and I'm constantly just reminded that, everybody can see this, and if everybody can see it, then it means that it's something that I have to live up to every day, with everything that I do. And yeah, it was just about putting it at a place where I thought there was a deeper connection to who I am than just a place where I could easily hide it.
Yeah. What does it say again?
So on this side, it's huge resins, and then on the other end is high standards. So it's like an Insta novella that I was working on previously. Last year in September. Yeah, I think I took like 5 months working on it, but I didn't upload other episodes, because I felt like, am I really comfortable pushing this work? Because I was growing up, I was getting exposed to new ideas, and I felt like, maybe I could write better, maybe I could even tell better stories. So I only published 3 episodes. So it just really picked up on my childhood stories, how I grew up, the things that really highlights what made me who I am today, I guess. Like, for instance, one of the stories that I included in that Insta novella was about this instant when my dad made me eat a cigarette. Like, he legit made me eat a cigarette, and how we got to that space. He sent me to the shop because I used to like football a lot. I always had a soccer ball and I would take it everywhere with me. So that day I decided to take it to the shop with me, like I always did. He had sent me a packet of cigarettes. And then I don't know how long I took because I did not even understand time at that point. When I came back at home, it was obviously hours after he had already sent me to the shop, and he was waiting for the cigarette. And I shouldn't have taken that long because it's just around the corner.
Yeah.
So when I came back, he was really mad at me. And then because he was never the type of parent who would, lay his hands on us. Like my dad never beat us. I remember just he did it once. There's one instant he gave me a hot slap. I will never forget that day. Legit. Then when I got home, he was like, dude, you've been gone forever. So where have you been? I couldn't answer it because obviously what I was doing, he was not going to approve of it, And then I was like, nah, Book Valley were a shop. And then I had to go to the other one. When I got there, it was still closed. And then, yeah, like it was always those stories, And then obviously he knew I was lying. And then he looked me straight in the eyes and he was like, take out one cigarette from that box. Okay, I'm like, oh, maybe Funo would see him lighter or something like that. Then I took out one cigarette and then I was like, I stretched my hand to give it to pass it to him. Then he was like, nah, eat it. Okay, I was a little confused. I looked at him and I was like, I said, eat it. Okay, I started crying because I did not understand where that came from. And it got really serious to a point where he insisted that I eat it, chew it, and spit it out. So yeah, like it picks up on those kind of stories. My first relationship, my first heartbreaks. So yeah, I call it huge reasons, high standards. So all those stories actually inspire why I want to achieve high standards in life, So those are the huge reasons I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The huge reasons inspire, why
I
I
have
want to
a
attain.
I have a question now regarding the cigarette story. So you're nervous that your dad will find out about that thing that we'll not mention, but you also say that he smokes or he used to smoke.
Yeah. He smokes cigarettes.
Yeah. And then you then you also say your parents are religious.
Yep.
Okay.
So church, I'm like the church that we go to does allow smoking.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I get it now.
Yeah, does allow smoking.
I'm so sorry. That makes a really great story. But I mean, having to live with that must be so like mind-boggling as a kid.
Nah, not really.
Really?
No. I think I've always been the type of person who get over things really quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always see everything that happens around me as a joke if it's not that serious.
Yeah.
I got through it. I didn't die. I never got any health implications from that. Yeah. So I'm like, it was just a moment of I don't know, just a moment of, they're trying to reprimand the kid.
Creative punishment, right? Because I mean, Black parents are very great at that. Yeah. Speaking about tattoos, I have one here. I have a cross over here.
Okay.
And for me, I actually, when I thought about getting a tattoo, I wanted something that I can see, because I needed this to represent something and I needed to see it and remember it. And I haven't really regretted it. But the problem is once you get one tattoo, you get the urge to get another. So I've had thoughts about getting another tattoo and I'm just like, no, chill, because you'll get the second one, then get the third one. The next thing you know, you're filled with tattoos,
Yeah.
So I don't want to go down that path. So that's why I'm just like, I'm going to keep it at this for now. Listen, I'm not saying I will, I'm not saying I won't, but I think for now, I'm just going to keep it at this because I know why I got this cross to begin with. And so let me tell you then about having freedom and doing what you like now that you're not in your parents' roof, right? Not under your parents' roof, geez. Okay, so I went to university, enjoyed my freedom. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get a lip ring. I got a lip ring, the first one, and then it was time to go home. So when I went home, I took it off because I didn't know what my dad was going to say, right? And that was like second year. Third year, I felt like I was a grown woman. I can do whatever I want. So I got my lip ring again. And then I was like, this time I'm going to go home with it. So the moment I arrived at home, I knew that my dad would see it. And so I said to him, I know you see the lip ring, but don't worry, I'm going to remove it. And then he just looked at me and said, okay. And then that was it, right? We never spoke about it. That Christmas, actually that December, we had a family wedding at Tembi's. So we go to the family wedding. I'm rocking my lip ring and whatnot, minding my own business. And you know, with the weddings, it's like, it's not just one day. There's like a build up, right? So we're at my aunt's place with my cousins and everything. It's fun. And my late grandpa, he was standing with my dad, and him and my dad call me. And then this is what my grandpa said. He said, I wish you knew how beautiful you are without that lip ring. You don't need it. And then they sent me off. And the whole time I'm like, my dad is such a snitch because I told him that I'm gonna remove it, and then he went and told on me and stuff like that. So that's what was going on in my mind that whole time. But my grandpa's words stuck with me, you know. Not They did not really prevent me from getting the lip ring, and now I was glad that I got it, because I wasn't sure if my grandpa had not seen me with the lip ring, I'm wondering whether he would have still given me that compliment, you know, because that's priceless, you know, coming from him. And the way that he said it, I know he was genuine, you know. But yeah, fast forward then, let me tell you then what happened. Okay, so this is why I stopped. I kept getting it, removing it, then the hole will close, and then get it again. So I started becoming a teacher, right? So when I got employed, I removed my lip ring, and I was like, okay, I'm going into the professional environment, whatnot. But then I was like, no, I'm still a young teacher, I'm cool and everything, and I missed it, so I'm gonna get it. So I got it again, and then at work they're like, okay. They didn't really say much. It was just like a shock, like, okay, all right, fine. You know, you're on contract, so you can do whatever you want because you're leaving in the next year. This is what I think they were saying. And then I returned 3 weeks later. I walk into my grade 9 classroom. 3 of my girl students have lip rings.
Shit.
Then I was like, okay, that's it. This is the time for me to stop. I don't want to start something I'm not going to finish.
Yeah.
So then I removed it. And also with the tattoo, because I used to teach kindergarten, right? And then you're advised to cover it up. And I think there were instances where if you're wearing a long sleeve, then like when you're busy, then it still shows, right? And then the next thing I know, this kid drew a cross on her arm to imitate my tattoo. And then I was like, my goodness, our behavior is so contagious. We don't even know it.
Yeah.
So now I'm at that point where I'm like, I really need to be careful what I do around little people, to be specific, because they follow it, but they don't even know what they're following, right? This links to the whole like just following trends, because we see celebrities, right? Like, for example, in the States, most men are covered with tattoos. I have nothing against that. But in my head, I'm like, they're doing it because they saw it somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah. So even with like, you know, like the whole syrup thing, the whole, I think it's DXM or DMX, I'm not sure what it's called. The whole cough syrup thing with,
oh, they call it lean, right? Yeah, I think they call it
think
lean.
so. Yeah. The kids started doing that because they saw it somewhere, right? I know it was probably Lil Wayne first, and then it was who's that guy who sings Ingutu, man?
MT?
Ingutu, Ingutu. Never actually
Questa.
Yeah.
Questa never did Questa ever do?
I'm not sure. Okay, cool. Great.
It was MT.
Oh yeah, probably.
We read that song, Roll Up.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Questa, I'm sorry. Sorry, I've got it mixed up. I need to get people's names right. So then they started seeing it somewhere and then they started doing it.
Yeah.
So,
Active. So we actually do have like such a huge influence as we grow up on the young ones.
yes.
We really do. But at the end of the day, I mean, it really goes back to why you doing it. You know, I mean, when you are still young, you obviously do stuff because you saw it somewhere and then you find it very fascinating. Mm-hmm. And when you get a little bit older and think logically about everything that you do in life, it kind of like comes from a place of understanding and a place of doing something that really makes sense to you. You know, like for instance, you said it took you realizing the impact that it had on the young ones to actually remove it, right? It didn't even take you the words from your grandpa or even knowing that your parents wouldn't approve of it, but it was just realizing something. So I'm actually picking up the same pattern with how I quit alcohol, right? Yeah. I used to drink alcohol a lot, and well, my friends, some of my friends were like, you dude, you're getting so sloshed. And if you would quit alcohol, your life would be so much better. And then I'm like, but Fetch, I'm comfortable here where I'm at, you know, and I don't have anything against alcohol. I don't even feel how much money it's actually getting me to waste, you know. So it was cool. Continued drinking alcohol until a point where I actually sit with myself alone and questioned exactly, why am I drinking alcohol? Is it necessary? What kind of implications will it have on my life, my health, actually? And then I realized that day that, I don't need alcohol. And from that day, believe me, I had, like, it's been 2 years and 6 months now. From that day, I had never even touched alcohol, and I did not have a point to prove to anybody. But just because I had got to this point where I realized that I did not need alcohol to get through. Besides, it was not good for my health. It was not good for my bank account. It just like really became something easy to deal with. So yeah, and I was depressed also when I quit alcohol, which I think it's a space that worked out for me. And if it wasn't about, if I never got into that space, actually, I don't think I would even be having this conversation with you. You know, I think maybe I'll probably be back home doing something meaningless, you know. But I'm really happy that I was depressed once in my life, because it has made me realize things that, you know, I did not need in my life, you know, with the help of the subtle art of not giving a fuck. I don't know if you know the book.
Language.
But it's the name of the book.
Whoa, I mean, sugar coated, bro.
Okay, yeah, the subtle art of not giving a, you know the book?
Yeah, yeah, I know that book, yeah.
Yeah, so that book actually, it also did help transform my life, because what I learned mostly from that book was the concept of decluttering, right? So I learned about how important it was to really not care about everything in life, you know. So something as simple as having a pair of socks that I don't wear anymore in the house, you know, like it actually even started translating into the, like, my physical space. Everything that I did not need in the house, I did not want to keep. Everything that I did not need in my life, I saw no reason to keep, you know. So even, yeah, this is really how I got to focus, because now I had less things to really care about. And if, you know, you have less things to care about, it means you can channel a lot of attention towards those. You know, they say energy flows where attention goes, you know. And yeah, I think just that decluttering space in my, or decluttering process in my life kind of like was necessary. Yeah. It's pretty dope. Yeah.
I think also, I mean, with what I went through, first of all, like I listened to a lot of sermons, right? And so there's a
Yeah.
sermon, it's very, very popular, TD Jakes, where it talks about letting people go. And I think that I still struggle to this day to let people go because I like holding on. Like I'm a very sentimental person and I will hold on to things and stuff like that. So I had to slowly let go. And with that, like you said, it came with learning to keep things in my room that really matter. So I started giving a lot of things away and throwing things that I no longer use away. And that simple act has actually, like, it felt as if I was like a burden was being lifted off my shoulder a little bit, because
Mm,
it's I don't know, it's not like you're completely losing something, because once you let go of one thing, you gain another.
thank you.
I don't know if you've realized that.
Even if you don't gain another thing, I mean, peace
Yeah,
comes from clean spaces,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
sometimes when you let go of something, you don't even need to replace it. I think that's another thing that I've learned, another biggest thing that I've learned about life, like sometimes you can legit have gaps in your life. And those gaps, for me, they just represent peace, because it means I can dedicate that time and space to,
Mm,
learning more about who
yeah,
I am and doing
yeah.
things that I like.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I get that. Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah. Hmm.
Did you choose to become a teacher?
Say that again.
Did you choose to become a teacher?
Yes.
Okay, when was this? When did you then realize that, okay, now I want to be a teacher?
You would probably have to watch one of the videos, conversations with Missy, because I talk about this. But yeah, I was
Okay.
in university, so I studied microbiology and computer science, and I was going to merge the two and take over the world. And then last year of university, I realized that this is not something that I wanted to do. Are you responding to text? Do you need a minute? I can give you a minute if it's an important text.
Can wait.
Are you sure?
It's from work though. Yeah, can wait.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and so then I signed up for an organization called Teach South Africa. So that's an organization that was recruiting teachers to place them in under-resourced, disadvantaged schools, right? Graduates that did not have a teaching qualification, or they were not like studying B.Ed or anything like that. And like everything fell in place for me. I'm so grateful that I chose that path, because, like I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't have met all the wonderful students that I've like had an opportunity to meet. Like it has completely revolutionized my life, in a good way. And I'm really happy about that, because I know people right now who are still trying to find their purpose. And for me to have found my purpose like at an early age, that's golden. That was like finding treasure. So
Yeah.
yeah, so yes, I did choose to be a teacher, and I think I'm still gonna continue being a teacher for the longest time, because I love
Yeah.
it. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Um,
really love what I do, but I did not know that I was going to end up here. I really love it.
what do you
I thought
do? Explain it to me.
well, I'm in the digital marketing space. How it started, it was really weird. I studied like industrial engineering at UJ, right?
Mhm.
And then after that, I got a job at Game, where I worked as a sales, I don't know if it was a sales agent, but my job was to literally move around aisles, find customers who are trying to buy stuff and explain how products work,
Mhm.
you know. And then if they had queries about stuff that they've bought previously, they would obviously bring them to the shop and, consult me.
Mhm.
I didn't enjoy the job. I worked for like a month and then I quit. No, I did 2 months and then I quit. Got the second month, right? Then there was no good money. It became an unhealthy space for me, because it did not present any opportunities to grow, and quickly I picked up that, this is not a place I belong. I quit my job. I did not have a place to stay. I stayed with a friend of mine for that month. I didn't, and things were really awkward, right? Because I did not even have money. We stayed for a month, 2, 3. I was still trying to find what is it that I wanted to do. I was not looking for a job. I was just trying to be by myself and understand what's my purpose, right? But I guess what I've learned from that space was you don't find your purpose about like from thinking about it, you know. So there's actually things that you constantly need to do, you know, to like it will help you get closer to understanding, you know, your purpose. Same way Mike Manson would explain happiness. He says happiness is like a constant cycle of solving problems. So if you don't have problems to solve, you cannot necessarily say you are happy. So if you think about it, like think about that hectic exam that not even an exam, an assignment that you have, right? And then it would stress you for the longest time, but that feeling that you get immediately after putting it in for submission, that is what's defined as happiness. It's not just a feeling, you know, but it's knowing that you had done something which you thought you could not accomplish.
It's basically constantly accomplishing things, however small they are.
Absolutely. So I got depressed because I was not finding the solutions to not knowing what my purpose was, you know. And that's when I stopped alcohol. I deleted quite a lot of friends from my life. Well, some just deleted me because I was an unhealthy person to be around. You know, I just had this bad energy around me. I was not happy. And I felt like people had nothing to take away from me. Until lucky enough, this day I bumped into a link and everybody was talking about coding. I felt like, no, maybe let me just explore coding. Perhaps I'm gonna love it because I've always loved computers. So let's see how it goes. I tried to apply for this learnership with Umuzi, but then I got stuck because now the questions were like, those ones I don't understand. I can't answer this one. And I was like, okay, is there anything else that I can apply for at Umuzi? There was multimedia. I applied for multimedia, but then halfway through the application, I was like, they're looking for a lot of stuff. I can't even put together a video now. So what do I do? Sharp, I stopped that application for multimedia and jumped into copywriting. At that point, I did not even know what copywriting was, but I guess I liked that I connected with the fact that there was writing involved, you know, because I did poetry writing back in the days. I was like, okay, maybe I could do better here. I just also looked at the stuff that I needed to submit, you know, together with my application. I was like, okay, this is easy. It's doable. I put together my application and then I had to do a Google course. I took up a Google course and then halfway through it, I stopped, right? I even forgot about it. I went back to being lazy. And I think it was 2 or even 3 days before the closing date, Umuzi contacted me and then they asked, like, hey, dude, you haven't completed your applications. Are you still keen on completing it? Then I was like, okay, I didn't know what I was doing with my time at that point. So, I mean, I had no excuse not to do it. So I completed it and it was quite easy at that time because I applied myself and I put my mind into completing it, you know, because it also felt like I've been presented with the final opportunity to do something right. I completed it. 2 days down the line, they called me, yo, dude, you've been shortlisted for an interview.
Nice.
You know, that was super exciting. And I was like, finally, things are coming together. I went to Umuzi for boot camp a week, right? This was in May 2019. I went for boot camp with Umuzi for a week, and then I felt like, you know what? This is a place where I belong. we did like a few exercises around copywriting, advertising, and digital content creation. After the boot camp, well, obviously they had to select the ones they were taking into the program, but they told me that I was provisionally accepted. I did not understand what that thing even meant. You know, I was so angry that I constantly kept on saying to myself, why, if these guys didn't want me, why can't they just say it if they don't want me? Like, what is this provisionally accepted thing? What does it even mean? You know, they were like, now we'll call you about in the next 3 months. I was like, guys, I don't have 3 months. If I don't get a job this month, it means I'll definitely have to go back home because I've exhausted all the favors that I've got from my friend. You know, it was about time something happened. And lucky enough, they called me after 2 weeks, right? When I was planning to go back home. They're like, hey, you can come through for screening and blah, 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 blah. There's like an opening for copywriters. Okay, cool. I went. That's when I signed my contract. And then I started with a program as a copywriter. But that's not all. I think the most amazing part by being at that space was just having the space to be creative, to learn other things, to connect with other creative people in the space. And that actually helped me, you know, change how I felt or thought about life. And I was really inspired. I just wanted to do something all the time. I wanted to produce something. Yeah. And that's when I started my podcast. I started recording my podcast from my phone. I've had this phone since 2019. I edited from the same phone. Nice. I edited from the same phone and uploaded on Google Podcasts and Apple Podcasts. People started really supporting me, you know, saying that, dude, now you should actually push this thing further because you are excited about it. You know, like it seems like you're in a good space. At that time, I was making around 3.5. Imagine in Joburg. Sharpo. And then I learned video editing, I learned copywriting, I learned just the fundamentals of design, advertising. After my program, I was presented with like an amazing opportunity to work with brands like First for Women, Budget Insurance, and One Life. And that's where really my career in the digital space took over. Yeah. You know, and really this just emphasizes the point that to understand your purpose and to get to a point where you feel like you are happy or you belong. Yeah. Yeah, it will never come from just thinking about it and trying to figure it out, you know? So like every space that you are at, it's actually a step closer to where you want to be. And that's just has been how my life has went, you know, like even where I'm at right now, I feel like there's something better that I can get to. And it's even great that now I can have conversations with people who can help me get closer to that space, you know? Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, that's really how I got to copywriting and digital space. And I'm loving it. I'm really loving it. I can tell. Like you have this glow when you talk about it. Yeah. It's just that I never even thought it was a thing. Till today, when I try to explain to my parents what is it that I do, they're like, I do, just stop, because we don't think we'll ever understand, you know? You know, honestly, same. Because what does it entail? I think I've asked you this question before. What does your job entail exactly? Give us a summary, brief summary. So what my job entails is just representation of businesses in the digital space, right? So what happens in the digital space, you have like your websites, we have like your social media, right? So we want to, like, I help businesses make profit from capitalizing on the internet, right? I help them build websites and communicate better in the way they build their website. Oh, okay. Yeah, the language that they use, you know, I help them to better understand their audiences and how they interact on the internet and how they can get to them. I do social media campaigns So the ideation of campaigns and just pushing it to the content team to just put it together.
Yeah.
I do adverts. Yeah, so whether it's video, whether it's still posts or graphics, I do that, and strategy as well. Well, that's like the big part of my work, because yeah, I mean it's just strategy that always does help businesses, you know, do well in this space. Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned adverts, right? I want to know, what is your all-time favorite South African advert?
Then like there's quite a few, really.
Okay, two. Give me two. Give me two.
So there's this ad that was done by Nando's.
Yeah.
There's this ad that Nando's did. Nando's, yeah, it was Nando's. They did, and they picked up on the Guptas. They picked up on the Doom situation.
Yeah.
They picked up on a lot of things that were happening in the country.
Right.
And I think that was such a dope advert because it was relatable, right? Although it did not make sense how it correlated with the brand and
with
the
selling chicken. I know, Nando's does that.
Know, yeah, but it actually occupies brain space if you think about it. And if brands would actually move into that space where they prioritized occupying brain space other than making sales, I think they would actually do a lot better. Because if you think about it, you buy from a brand that you know, that you recognize, or that you recognize yourself in. Yeah. So if Nando's got about, let's say it got about 8 million impressions from that ad, it means it occupied the brain space of almost half of those people, especially the ones who related to those stories, you know, and just being in conversations, just being part of conversations puts you up, or sets you up rather, as authority in your game as a brand. It does not matter how you do it, whether it's brand aligned or product aligned, as long as you can make people laugh and come up in conversations. I think that's like a way to go. Yeah. Another one that I think was dope, a dope advert, it really has to be, well, Nike is not South African, but Nike did this ad last year where they had like a split screen.
I don't remember it. Keep going.
Yeah, so they had a split screen. If you think about how Nike does their advertising, they are always pushing this idea, like they're trying to encourage their people that you can just do it. You know, like there's no limit to what you think or you want to become. You know, like you can always achieve anything, like only the sky is the limit. So it pushed the same messaging, but the creativity in it was, how did you guys manage to actually get the split screen so perfectly, you know? And that for me was just doing something that was never done that has never been done in the space. And for the fact that everybody is asking, how did you do it? It means people will start sharing. They're like, guys, did you see Nike actually did this split screen app? Can you please help me figure out or understand how they could have done it? You know, or even people who understand how Nike could have done it, but it's like, shit, this is so mind-blowing. Because they got it. So this is so mind-blowing because they got it so perfect. Because they got it so perfectly. So it has to be that Nike ad that came out last year in June, and the one that Nando's did, where they picked up on like the stories that trended in South Africa. Okay, can I share my two all-time favorites? Yep. So this one is a really old one, the stairs one, where so it's a group of tourists, they go on a game drive, right? And then they are on the truck, I don't know what it's called,
the game, whatever.
Yeah.
And then the leader says, so they're in the middle of the jungle, and then the leader says, all right, guys, let's quiet down here. If we're lucky, we will see the big five. And the Asian guy goes like, oh, big five, I see them, I eaten them all. And then one passenger goes like, no, you're joking, right? And then the Asian guy goes, no, I'm not joking, reader Englishman. I eaten them all. Oh, I love that ad.
What's the brand? I really want to see that one.
Yes, they were selling these mini burgers. Just type, I eaten them all.
I eaten them all, yes.
Oh, you're just writing it down?
Yep, I'm checking it on YouTube.
Okay, cool. Check it out. It should be like about a minute long.
I got it. You want me to play it here? Can I present my screen? Don't have sharing rights.
You can present your screen, it's fine.
Okay, I don't have sharing rights.
You don't?
Nope.
How do I give you sharing rights?
You can go to, you see where it says participants or privacy?
Is participants invite,
Okay.
share screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Advanced sharing options? Oh yeah, okay, got it. How about now?
Let's see. Great, I got it.
Okay.
Spot the big five. If we
Big five? Oh, I see them the other day. I eat them all.
No joking, reader Englishman.
I eat them all. Really big and really delicious.
That's
Say, I eat them all.
Get out, big five. Ray, steer, cheese, print.
Oh, this is the big five. I see.
Okay, one more. Stivovo. I think Stevovo. X adverts. The second one. Hang on. No, go back to the search. Yeah, Stivovo. Yeah, that one. Yes. Yeah, that one. I love that one too.
You want to what now?
It's my love, Mama.
Lava.
Hey, my birthday, she's just calling me.
I remember this one.
She screamed, oh, take me, Simone. Me, I'm yours. Forever more. Why?
Yeah, I don't know.
What's part of love? Now you want to take my only wife. But why? Yeah? Why? I'll get that magic potion to spray on the chest of yours. Yeah. And I'll take that off of yours too. You watch.
I love
Always
it.
the man. Yeah. So.
So those are my all-time favorite African ads. I love them.
I see. I
see. Okay, so we've exhausted an hour. I think it's time to go, but I had so much fun. Do you have any, oh, by the way, I love your podcast. I didn't know how this was going to turn out, like a podcaster having another podcaster on the podcast. So I was just like, this should be pretty awesome.
We should have actually had a podcaster having another podcaster kind of like edition, you know.
Oh, man.
You should have prepared your 5 questions and I, would have prepared my 5 questions and then would bounce them back. But yeah, I mean, I had fun.
Yeah, same. I enjoyed it.
We can always do another session, bro. Like, definitely.
Yeah. So I'm just going to prepare a nice outfit for when I come onto your podcast, because you make it look all glamorous, like a nice shooting studio. And I love how creative you are with it. I'm like, this guy, when I grow up, I want to be like him.
How do I grow up?